There are cities that witness history, and then there are cities that make history. Florence, Firenze, belongs to the latter. It wasn't the capital of an empire, nor the largest city in Europe, but in the span of 2 centuries, it produced some of the greatest artists, architects, and thinkers the world has ever known. But why here? Why Florence? Welcome to Jada Academy. By the 13th century, the wool and textile trade had made the city one of the richest in Europe. The famous Arte della Lana controlled the entire production chain, from imported English wool to the luxury cloth sold across the continent. And then came the bankers. Florentine families like the Bardi, Peruzzi, and later the Medici, whom we talked about in the previous episodes, became Europe's financial backbone. Their currency, the gold florin, minted from 1252 onwards, became the standard coin of international trade, almost like the medieval euro. And by 1400, the Medici Bank alone managed the accounts of the Pope. And this massive wealth of the city did not just sit in the vaults. It was poured into the city itself, into churches, palaces, and public spaces. Now, unlike the monarchies in France or Spain, Florence was officially a commune and later a republic, which means power wasn't hereditary. It rotated amongst the guilds and elite families through a very complex electoral system. The Signoria, a council of 9 citizens, governed the city in 2-month terms to prevent absolute power. And surrounding this political core were the guilds, or arti. Artisans, merchants, bankers, and professionals formed powerful groups that shaped the economy and the city itself. They set standards, financed construction projects, and promoted civic pride. For example, the baptistry of San Giovanni was financed by the Wool Guild. The Duomo, on the other hand, was a communal project that symbolized Florence's independence and ambition. But of course, money alone does not create a renaissance. What truly set Florence apart was its intellectual environment. In the 14th century, writers like Dante, Petrarch, and Boccaccio gave birth to vernacular Italian literature. By the early 15th century, the city became the beating heart of humanism. Scholars like Coluccio Salutati and Marsilio Ficino translated classical Greek texts and discussed Plato in Medici villas. This was also the city where Brunelleschi rediscovered linear perspective, Masaccio revolutionized painting with spatial realism, and Donatello revived the freestanding nude with his bronze David. And the city was small, which means everyone knows everyone. So artists, bankers, philosophers often shared the same piazza or argued in the same courtyard, inspiring each other in a way that's only possible in these kind of tight-knit communities. And by the late 15th century, Florence had created an extraordinary formula: economic strength, republican politics, and intellectual curiosity, all funneled into artistic ambition. The city might be small, but the influence was vast. And that's why when you walk through Florence today, it still feels like history isn't something locked behind museum glass. It feels alive, just breathing around you.